I always enjoy talking about flowers. I think it's the mission of my life to create awareness about the healing power of all the flower remedies, particularly the ones coming from India. And today I want to speak a lot more about the lotus flower remedy because that's the one very deeply connected to our spiritual progress and meditation. So, I wanted to start with my journey. I'm basically an allopathic doctor, passed out my MBBS in 1983. And just around 1980, while I was studying in medical college, I started getting this, deeper insights about life. And maybe there's something more to life, and I must search for it. So I started with meditation, and I started getting very strong intuition that maybe I'm going to meet a master who can teach me. And actually, I did meet a master very quickly after that. And he taught me meditation, and he taught me also many other things. Apart from allopathic, he said that there are also many other healing systems that I should learn about, which I did actually. I sincerely followed what he said, and that changed the entire course of my life. So I just took the degree, started my journey from 84 onwards, looking for all the various systems of healing, and I experimented with each one of them. Then I stumbled across this flower remedies. So in England, there was Dr. Edward Bach in 1930s, who also was an allopathic doctor, and he covered the same journey as us right then, from allopathic to the natural systems. And then last 6 years of his life, he discovered the healing power of the English flowers. And then he wrote a book, small one, and there he described various flowers and what are the healing qualities of these flowers. I I went to England and I managed to buy an entire set of English flower remedies. I started using them. I had no clue in the beginning what is going to happen, but very overwhelming when I saw that it changes the mind and emotions. It literally rewrites your past, your present, and so your future. I was I've never looked back after that because the flower remedies are very powerful. There is absolutely no side effects. There is nothing like drug interaction, overdosage, some untoward effect, nothing like that. Very, very gentle. So I literally fell in love. And then I started looking at the flowers growing in our own country, India. I said, is there any healing power in Indian flowers? Let me look at it. So me and then my husband, Dr. Atul, radiologist, he also joined me and we both started our journey making flower remedies from the Indian flowers. When we made these remedies, we didn't know what they are for or how to use them, but slowly, the science revealed itself very properly. And we started writing our notes, studying about various flowers, the botany, the terrain that where it grows, what is the character, what is the fruit, what is the reference in Ayurvedic books, what are the traditional names and all that. And then, like, there's no looking back. And now we have wonderful Indian flower remedies that we offer to patients all over the world. So many practitioners we have trained. And in that journey, one of the most powerful flower that I came across was the lotus. The lotus flower is spiritual flower. In India, of course, it's our national flower. And there are so many pictures, so many books, so many beautiful poems, all praising lotus flower. So this one particular flower remedy, I have personally also used a lot, and I also have prescribed it quite a lot. So today I'm going to introduce you about what exactly are the flower remedies, what exactly are the healing quality of lotus flower, and towards the end, I want you all to actually meditate on this flower and see what happens. Okay? And how, it takes you to the deeper states of your own awareness. A flower remedy really looks like this: a glass bottle, there's a dropper inside, and maybe you open it and drops you put on your tongue, or you can also apply locally. This is how a flower remedy looks like. So, in a more sophisticated language, if you want to know what is a flower remedy, they are liquid energy of the flowers. Now, just the way we have physical body, we also have subtle body. There are seven sukshma sarir, we call it as the subtle bodies. Okay, we are not just the physical being. Although we do see the physical part as a very solid part, it's really the expanded energy field that we are is the real part of us. We don't see it, but we feel it. We know it also. The flower remedies are specially prepared um in water, basically, because water carries the information energetically, and the water absorbs the energy field of the flower. So, therefore, we call it as liquid energy of the flower, which is stored in water. Okay, so the rest of the things you can understand, read later, but this is in essence. I just wanted to say that in water that you have is energetic information of that particular flower. There's no material transfer, it is just the electromagnetic pattern or the etheric energy that is transferred. Now remember, we use the word essence, but it doesn't mean perfume. Okay, it's not essential oil. There is no material extraction of the flowers. We only allow the water to absorb the energy field of the flower. There is no flower extracted or crushed or nothing like that. It's just water and flowers together, water absorbing the energetic imprint of the flower, and that's it. At the end of the process, there is no material transfer. So there is no perfume. Now, there's a difference between flower remedies and the herbal remedies. There are lots of herbal remedies, chamomile, lavender, calendula, St. John's wort, celandine. All these are also used as herbal tea. So there's actually the flowers which are dried and then you make a tea out of it. So it's a proper material stuff. The healing properties are slightly different when you take it in a material form than in an energetic form. Okay. Also, as I mentioned earlier, essential oils. So, for example, um, if you take 1000 kilo of rose flowers, you may just get 1 kilo or 1 liter of rose essential oil, because highly concentrated oil in the flowers. And that is essential oil which you put it in some carrier oil and then you use it, and it works through the sense of smell. So that is essential oil. It's a separate subject altogether. Whereas flower essence, or they're also called as flower remedies, they are simply made by a traditional method where you actually cut the flowers in full bloom. You take a glass bowl, put natural spring water, which is totally pure. You float these flowers on the surface of the bowl water, and then you expose it to sunlight for about 2 hours. At the end of 2 hours, you remove the flowers, and this water gets fully saturated with the information of that particular flower. There are some researches done in Japan and in Germany which actually shows that something changes in the water, and water is now no more exactly the same water as you had taken before. It does have some information from that particular flower. See, here are the pictures of the essential oils, and as I said, that you only need a tiny drop of that essential oil in the carrier oil, and that is generally used for massage or bath water. So that's a completely different science altogether. And today we are not talking about the oil part of it. Also, there is some difference between homeopathy and flower essence remedies, because in homeopathy you actually crush, you take the extract, then you make a mother tincture, then you potentize it. At the material level, when you make a zero potency, that's the base mother tincture. But in flower remedies, we are not taking any material counterpart. It's only the energetic counterpart right at the beginning. So I've been using this word again and again. It's called as etheric energy. So that which is not physical, but it's pretty much there in your field, we call it as etheric energy. Every material has an energy field which is having the information, and it is very subtle, and you cannot see it, but you can take pictures through very special camera like Kirlian cameras, and that is the etheric field of the flower. And so each of the flower remedies are nothing but energetic information of each particular flower. Now, there is a process of making the flower remedy. As I mentioned, you expose it to sunlight, couple of hours. Here you can see these flowers, yellow, beautiful. Then you store them. You add alcohol if you wish to. I don't add any alcohol. I just leave it in the water itself, and then you have these tiny bottles that you fill it up, and then you take it orally. So this is the process, but we also have devised a process where we don't cut the flowers now. We take living flowers on the plant itself. We do the prayer before making a flower remedy. Also, during the process, we want to chant some mantras, and then finally, at the end of the process, also you want to do thank you. And every flowers have their deities or devas overseeing them. So we always want to thank them and invite them to participate in the process of making the flower remedy. So this is the final version of how the flower remedy looks like. Now, I was mentioning earlier about the lotus flower. Lotus flower is the master healer. It's one of the most powerful flower remedy on the planet. It is having so many uses, and there's a reason why it is so powerful. I'll explain you more about it as we go along. Look at this beautiful flower. When you spend just about 10 seconds just looking at it, it's in the full bloom at the moment. And now I wanted to also mention about Lord Buddha. Have you seen it? The picture that is always sitting, and there's a lotus at the, like a seat, or is meditating. So in Buddhism, there is a lot of connection with the lotus flower. They call it as Padma. So there's a story for this, that there was a time when Buddha was traveling a lot and teaching everyone. He was suffering from constipation, and there was a king, Ajat Satru, who was very concerned about it, and a lot of doctors were giving medicines, but he didn't like because there were side effects. So finally he asked someone who was a Ayurvedic professor. His name was Jivaka, and that physician put a drop of medicine on the lotus flower and then asked Buddha to smell it, and then he was relieved of his trouble. It's a very beautiful story of just smelling, and the remedy was put on the lotus flower, and then he felt completely relieved. Now, there are so many symbolism used in Buddhism. So they say it stands for purity, spontaneity, and beauty. In many of the paintings, you will see the Buddha is sitting on the lotus. And the symbolism is, obviously, I'm going to repeat it again and again. It says that lotus grows in the muddy water. It is so beautiful, and it is bringing the smile on anyone's face who will see it. And even when you are, facing a lot of difficulties in life, lotus is the one who's going to bring the ease in your life. And fully open lotus has a very strong solar character. That means the sun, the petals are like sun. Actually, it's almost like unity. The sun and lotus, their relationship is very, very strong. And in Buddhist tradition, fully open lotus is the symbol of enlightenment. Now, there are few colored lotuses: white, red, blue, and pink. So, all of these have different teaching, different meaning to it. So, obviously, the white is supposed to be the most pure and spiritual. There is also red lotus, which is more with the heart and love and compassion. And then there is blue lotus, that is, transcending the senses, sense stimulation, also about knowledge and wisdom. And then finally, pink lotus for Lord Buddha and his teachings, and also for the emotional stability. Also, some mention about the Egyptian tradition. The same theme obviously repeats the spiritual theme. And finally, the lotus is believed to represent the rebirth of the sun. So you can see that lotus is actually capturing the solar energy, the sun energy, because as soon as the first morning rays of the sun touches lotus, see, lotus is closed like that through the night. At the moment in the morning, it's a very magical moment. Slowly, within seconds, you will see that it opens when the sun rays are, touching. And again, towards the evening, it closes itself when there is no more sun. So the relationship is extremely strong. And obviously, as I said, that very beautiful, very delicate flowers, very beautiful smell also. So this is said in Bhagavad Gita, those who dedicate their actions to God, abandoning all attachment, remain untouched by the sin, just as a lotus leaf is untouched by water. And so, basically, you stay in the world but remain detached. You live in it but not get affected by it. There are the various deities that also love lotus, and they have it in their hand or they are sitting on it. You can see here Goddess Lakshmi is sitting, and it is believed that Lord Brahma emerged from the navel of Lord Vishnu, who was sitting also on the lotus. You can see in this picture, you can't see Brahma sitting on the lotus, but the part of the picture is not seen. So, Brahma also sitting on the lotus. Here, Goddess Lakshmi is sitting on the pink color lotus. Then you have Goddess Saraswati, who is sitting on the white lotus. Saraswati, of course, is for the knowledge. Vidya, we call it as memory. So, it is said that in Hinduism, that Saraswati is the personification of the skilled knowledge, which is, of course, formed by the mind. And she sits on this white lotus. And if you do Saraswati Vandana and do some prayer every day, we see that she blesses us with more knowledge. So, as I said, that the precondition for lotus to grow is mud. When there is no mud, there is no lotus. This is the very famous statement given by, a Vietnamese monk whose name was Thich Nhat Hanh. And he was a great meditator and a spiritual master. He would call himself a teacher, though. And he always said that when there is no mud, there is no lotus. So anyone who is walking on the path of spirituality may face lot of troubles in life that I call as mud, and then the lotus takes birth. So you need the mud so that you learn so many things about life. Ultimately, you learn to detach, renounce, and become like lotus. Your life becomes like that of a lotus, spiritual being. Some botanical information, it's called as like Nelimbo nicifera, and the family is Nymphaceae, in our language Kamal or Padma, and we find it throughout India. Here is this beautiful picture of lotus. You can see that the leaves are always above the ground. Often this gets confused with water lily, but remember, water lily, the leaves are floating on the water and the center part is quite different. So don't confuse it with water lily. Lotuses are totally different. Here you can see the bud also, and you can see a fully open lotus. And the leaves are like all above the ground, not touching water, but rising above the water level. The names in other languages, so sacred lotus, Lakshmi, Indian lotus, Kamal, Padma, Egyptian bean. There are many others like Nalin, Arvind, Utpal, Tamaras, Ambhoj, Pushkar, so many different Saraj. Sometimes, some of the names of our friends may be also on the name of Lotus, actually, Pankaj and Neeraj and Saroj, right? And Rajiv. These all mean lotus only. They are the different names of lotus, but they are also given according to the healing quality. So, someone who sees Kamal means mal means dirt, and ka means no, so there is no dirt, it's pure. So Kamal. So according to the different qualities of the lotus was given different names in Sanskrit also. And that means that lotus has this healing quality. So here, as I just mentioned, usually from June to September we have flowering season, and the lotus ponds are very sacred. Usually they are next to a temple, but not always necessary. And it's not that lotus will just grow anywhere, okay? It doesn't grow anywhere. It may grow where the land is blessed by the deities, okay? Not just like that. Just even if you kind of, create best of the mud possibilities, not like that. The land has to be blessed by the deities, and then the lotus will start growing over there. These are the pictures of lotus leaves, and you can see how vibrant and um, green color and all, above the ground. And there are a lot of medical benefits also they have found. They are using all parts of lotus, the stalk also, the flower itself, also the seeds also. And then the seeds, fall in the water again. And then next year, you see again some more lotuses coming up. And the seeds can be saved also. The seeds that are, saved have a huge longevity. Even after 1,000 years in China, they found that if they use those seeds, again the lotus, takes birth. So huge longevity. And that's the reason why also lotus might be helping us in anti-aging and longevity. So here, these are the lotus seeds, and you can see them. I have a mala, of lotus seeds made, and I love to hold it in my hand. And you can start recognizing this is the center part of the lotus, which is quite different from the water lily. And there's some research that says that, lotus has the capacity to control the temperature of the blossoms within a specific range, which is almost like human being, which is amazing quality. So it has this extra intelligence installed in it. There's something called as biomimicry. So, biomimicry means what? You watch nature and you study and then you duplicate. You do exactly the same way as nature does. Biomimicry. So, here on the lotus leaf, you can see that water drops you put, the surface has some subtle waxy surface covering, which is natural, obviously, from nature itself. And so the water droplet just floats, doesn't stick. And this could be biomimicry, that those who want to do something like non-stick, they can study from it, that how lotus leaves are doing it. So now something about healing quality of flowers, what I have learned over the years, and that I would like to share with you. So obviously it is the foremost flower essence on this planet, and we call it as the king of flower essence. So there are about 2000 flower remedies from flowers all over the world that people are using, studying, researching, writing about it. But among all of them, lotus is the most powerful one. And I find that the one that comes from India is very precise in its effect. And I'll explain you more in detail how that happens. But let's go to the next one. So, as I said, the mud is representing the material life, the Maya, this earth, our incarnation, and we have to go through so many experiences. In live in the world of duality. Some are good, some are not so good. Then the water represents the astral world, that is water, the Jala Tattva. And then finally, on the surface, you see this beautiful bird coming, and when the sun rays touch, fully blown lotus is the enlightened spiritual being. So, this is the representation, symbols. Of course, I showed you how the lotus flower remedy will look like. Now, it's a very powerful meditation elixir. So, how we use lotus flower? A few drops of lotus flower remedy on the crown chakra. We call it as Sahasrara chakra. So, just before you want to sit down for meditation, you put 7 drops on the top of your crown chakra, right here, center of it. Just 7 drops for the 7 planes, 7 subtle bodies, 7 chakras. That's why 7 in number. And just put this 7 drops here, gently tap it, and then sit down to meditate. Often people find that the chatter of the mind, just doesn't stop. And sometimes an entire hour passes with just the mind, going very strong, and taking our awareness, back to the mind and the worldly things, and not letting us calm down and experience our own state of consciousness. So, Lotus helps us to rise quickly, go deep within our own center, and just be there. In our language, we call it as Atmastha. Obviously, without the soul, there is nothing. But because of the mind's chatter, we forget our very essence, which is imperishable, eternal, right? So, Lotus helps us to go and become that or become aware of it. We already are, and remove all this chatter of the mind and quickly go and touch and be there in awareness with your own soul. You can also put a few drops on your brow chakra, the Agna chakra, and then you can meditate. You want to use all other chakra also, you can do that also. And sometimes you can also take 7 drops orally, and then you can sit and meditate. So I have hundreds of my customers who have used lotus flower remedy through the years for meditation. Start with the pink lotus and then gradually start using the white lotus. So I want each of you to now just take a moment and look at this flower just for a few seconds while I'll just keep quiet. And this is going to be darshanam, the meditation through darshan of the particular flower. So all that you will do is keep your eyes open. Right now, we do not have a lotus pond or something where you go and see a living flower. That would be ideal. But since we don't have it, we'll do it on the picture on the screen. And just for a 1 whole minute, we will do this. And then you can share your experience. Even when you look at the a beautiful picture of the flower, what happens? Okay. Do you want to share anything in the chat? You can. All right. Should I move on to the next slide? Yeah. Okay. So, this is the research done and is described on WebMD. Says that lotus contains also certain chemicals which are, going to reduce the swelling, may also, kill cancer cells and bacteria. It can also reduce your blood sugar. It can, help break down your fat, and also can protect your heart and blood vessels. But more research needs to be done so that we can start using this product. Lotus is already used in many different ways as petals in the jam or in a gel form, also as oil because there is fragrance there, also the lotus stalk, and then the herbal remedy also, and of course as a flower remedy. And the chemicals in lotus also seem to protect in skin, liver, and brain. Some of the uses that I have found are, as I said, for meditation, that's the first one. You can take it orally as well. Then what is the quality of lotus? It balances and amplifies the effects of other flower remedies. So if you are taking, say, for example, ashok or hibiscus or bougainvillea or night jasmine, then lotus taken along with it, it will increase the power of other flower remedies. Also, it is correcting a lot of emotional imbalances. So I have people who will say that I am getting a lot of dreams, I'm crying, a lot of my past trauma, it's all getting released. And then after some time, you see your body posture changes, you feel very calm, like clear state of consciousness, how it feels. Exactly the same way, lotus clears all this emotional baggage. And a lot of it is stored in the muscle as well, and then you have a much better posture. Those who have backache, we find if it's emotional suppression in origin, then lotus really helps a lot to overcome. Then in case if you're recovering from illness, just take lotus flower remedy, it will help you to recover faster. Also, those who are healers, they are healing other people, and sometimes they are very confused what may be the disease of a patient, there's too much information. Then you take remedy yourself, lotus, and you can also give it to your patient. Within few weeks you find that now the picture is very clear, the diagnosis is clear. So it gives that kind of mental clarity, more accuracy, more intuitive diagnosis. So good for healers and also for the patient to take it. And sometimes you don't know which therapy to be given, then just give lotus as the first one, and after a few weeks you get a proper guidance. So it's a start of the journey. Just give lotus for a few weeks, or sometimes in the middle of your therapy also, if there's a stagnancy, no more improvement, just give lotus 1 month and then again start the therapy. Also, crystals, those who are using crystals, it's very nice to use along with the crystal, like quartz crystal. Then, what is the beautiful part of lotus? When you start taking the lotus, it aligns all the seven chakra of your body. It is balancing them, it is protecting them, it is it is removing all the blocks also. And this way, there's a huge stability in the system, and your health also improves, and you have a great clarity at the mental level. And obviously it's a great detox remedy, right? Lotus entire toxins all in all the different organs like liver and kidney and skin, all of these are also released. So I have my patients will come and tell me that my perspiration smells a lot, my urine smells. I said, just the detox is happening, let it happen for a few weeks, and after that, it will stop when all the toxins have gone out of the system. They'll even come and tell me that initially my stool was very dark in color and now it is perfect yellow color. And you can see that all the toxins have left the body. So it's a very, very great detox remedy. Then, excellent elixir for balancing, cleansing, and strengthening your aura, your energy field. Obviously, it's going to do that. Clean up, balance, and strengthen it. Also, you can spray it around in the places of ceremonies or where you are sitting for meditation. You can spray it around. So it changes the energy field of the space. Also, where you are doing pujas, there also you can spray it beforehand so that you have a much cleaner place available. Or if you have a house which was closed for a few weeks and smelling, you just use lotus spray, and within minutes you will see the life returns, in the air, and the smell goes away. Then you can use it in the bath therapy, interpersonal relationship. If there is a lot of fights and misunderstanding, it's nice if both the people take, I mean, two persons, if even if one takes also, it's okay, the effect is seen. There are also affirmations and visualizations of lotus. So I can also give you some affirmation to speak, and that's exactly about lotus message. Okay, so when you say the affirmation, that exactly is the message of the lotus, or the thought, or the emotion of lotus, which is getting installed in your system. You can also make a lotus oil, and also we use it for the plants, when you have house plants and there is less water or less sunlight, then you can give a little bit of lotus so that it recovers faster. So that's more on agriculture. Also, if you want to bond relationship with your pet animals or any other animals, uh, use lotus flower remedy. It helps a great bonding between you and your pet. Lotus can be also used as a cream on your face, on your skin, on the acupressure and acupuncture points, like the DU20 is the center of the crown chakra, and many other therapies. You can use lotus as a complementary, or allopathy, aromatherapy, homeopathy, whatever you are taking, you take and add lotus, it gives better results. Now, the vibration of lotus is exactly the same as crown chakra, Sahasrara chakra. That's exactly what we do in meditation, right? The crown chakra is the 1,000 petal lotus, yeah, it's called as. And the exact vibrations of this Sahasrara chakra and the lotus is exactly the same. Therefore, if there are any disturbances of the crown chakra, taking a lotus flower remedy will completely restore this chakra and the function. So, uh, each of the flowers have a different energy, different chakra, different organ related to it. So lotus has the one strong relationship with the crown chakra. Now, this is a wonderful picture that I have taken at my brother's farm. He has lotus pond. He's very fortunate, and he also has one of the rare lotus flower growing there. It's called as 1,000 petal lotus, and it's amazing to see in full bloom and sit there and meditate. So this is a beautiful one that was there just 2 months ago, and I took the picture. So Om, the vibration of Om, right? We use Om in so many of our Sanskrit mantras. It starts with Om, and then in the end we say Om Shanti. Om obviously is the primordial vibration of the creation. It's the first word. And crown chakra, Om, and the lotus, they are exactly one. The vibration is exactly the same. So when you take the lotus flower, you chant Om and meditate, and your crown chakra gets energized. It gets expanded, and you open up to the subtle realms of life. You center and you stay in touch with your own soul. You actually remain there, and all that is not necessary just falls apart. It tells you who you are, right? At the end of it, it reminds you of what is perishable and what is not perishable. That which is indestructible, the you which is always there, there is no beginning and there is no end. What changes are the forms and experiences. You, the witness, never changes. This is the most powerful message of Lotus. So this is one of the way of using the Lotus for the Om meditation. So let's just show you the Lotus picture again, and we'll only do it 11 times just to experience the power of lotus flower. Okay, so I'm going to speak it, and you all also can speak it mentally or verbally, whichever way you like. You don't have to stress out, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be. That's all. Okay, so you can also do this with the open eyes. It doesn't matter because you're going to watch the flower and see it come alive. Okay. So I'm going to chant 11 times Om, and you are welcome to chant it with me. Om. 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 So you're most welcome to share your experience about what you feel while the Om chanting is going on. Usually the Ma is silent and you literally hold it in your heart and keep it there, not speaking it out loudly, but keeping it inside. Yeah, this is the beautiful lotus pond, and you see the flowers which are floating on the surface of water are the water lily, and those are shorter flowers seen at the bottom. And the lotus is quite different, rising above the ground, and the leaves are rising above the ground. We continue our meditation on the lotus pond as we visit. All of us can imagine that you are now visiting this particular lotus pond yourself. You're going there, you're just looking at it, you're walking around. It's very green, quiet, with nature sound and some temple bells coming from the distance. And you are in the energy field of the lotus. You're watching each of the leaves, you're looking at the sunlight, you're looking at maybe a little frog in the pond, and you're also looking at the lotus buds. Lotus is the first flower that took birth on this planet when the flora, the plant kingdom, started on this planet. It's the first flower that came, and then the rest of the plant kingdom. When you sit with the lotus and you quietly listen to these sounds very slowly, if you're very sensitive, you'll be able to tune to the energy of the deities. Because every flower has a deva, we call it as a nature spirit associated with it, is always there because they live on the same energy. You allow, the communication to happen with the deity. You quiet your mind, sit there, and just ask for the guidance or their presence. You will feel it pretty much over there. Over the years of me tuning to the healing energy of so many flowers and trees, and I feel their presence very quickly. And you go and hug a tree, um, you take a flower in your hand, or a flower that is fallen on the ground, you can still take it. There's energy there. And the Devic kingdom, their energy is always there with it. So every message of the flower is exactly the same as the quality of that particular deity. I'll give you an example of a particular flower that is offered to Lord Hanuman on Saturdays. We call it as a swallowwort. It's also called as Rui. It's a purple color flower. And the leaves, the mala is offered to Hanumanji. Now, this particular flower has the quality of taking away the subconscious fears and make you very courageous. And what is the quality of Hanumanji? Exactly the same, to make us courageous. Hanumanji is a symbol of strength and courage. The flower has the same energy that can transform our fears into courage. So, all this flower kingdom is not just like that. There is also this subtle Devic kingdom that is always associated with it. I just want to end this now with one wonderful story. Many years ago, there's a lady who tried to contact us from Australia, and we didn't know why she was trying to find out who we were, where we were situated, and everything. Finally, she had an agent who found out that we are located in Mumbai and we make flower remedies and we are very much there. She said she wants to come and meet us. Said, yes, sure, we are here. Please do come. So she traveled all the way from Australia to Mumbai and she stayed here for a few days with us. And she narrated a very fantastic story. It just so happened that we had visited Australia in 1992, And there was an international conference over there, and we had our presentations. And I spoke on lotus flower for almost an hour. And after that, we sold a lot of lotus flower remedies and many other Indian flower remedies. And that we had forgotten about it. The woman uh, was a healer herself. She said that her daughter is a horse communicator, and her there was a very sick horse in someone's house, and daughter had visited that house, and the horse said that my remedy is lying in this household. And what is it like? Intuitively, the horse communicator found out that there is some bottle of some flower remedy from India that is lying in that very household, that the horse said is my remedy. The horse was actually dying, it was very sick and dying. So they took the remedy and gave it to this horse, and the horse recovered completely with this lotus flower remedy, which probably was purchased more than 10 years ago from us. But the flower remedies do stay with their energy. So I have many, many more such stories, not just animals, of human beings also, who were very sick and were given the lotus flower. They just recovered beautifully. And so she wanted to come and see us and know that who we are and how powerful this liquid energy remedies are, from nature itself, that can completely transform, lives of so many people.